Hi, good day. Thank you for having me and my team for this conference. Okay, for this conference, I would like to present a topic called e-Anis, developing database and digital mobile apps on disability and elderly support center in Selangor, Malaysia, for this very amazing conference. Okay, first of all, I would like to focus on these four contents, which is actually the abstracts, the methods and materials for the research, discussions, and of course the conclusion of the paper. All right, will be representing University of Selangor. My name is Hamdan Muhammad Salleh. Under this team, we have Hasno Hidayah, Khairi Baria, Rahayu Khalid, Eng Min Yip, Muhammad Fairuz Rauf, and Muhammad Fairuz bin Muhammad Shari. Okay, first of all, this is a research that have been developed into one called apps in Bahasa Malaysia, in Bahasa Melayu, with the name of Anak, Istimewa, and Warga Emas Selangor, which is we can be roughly translated as special needs kids and for the elderly for the state of Selangor in Malaysia. All right, let me focus on the focus of the abstract for the research. This my presentation. Actually, this research will be the pioneer, and we hope that it become the catalyst for holistic information on disabled and elderly center, not only in Selangor as the most populous and most developed state in Malaysia, but in Malaysia in general. We have 14 states, which actually includes federal territories and Sabah and Sarawak in another part of Malaysia. Okay, why the programs actually the problem of this idea actually derived from the problem statement from this idea is derived from the situation, especially in Malaysia. WHO, World Health Organization, estimated that 10% of total population in Malaysia, which is currently roughly around 35 million, actually disabled. Another thing is Malaysia's actually in the midst of what we call aging society, with no clear policy on elderly facilitation. This is a core needs in order to create the policy on elderly facilitation, which is actually the necessity. They come up with the necessity on what we call it efficient method of getting information about disability and elderly support center, which we believe this will be the core, actually the main issues on especially for the stakeholders, for the parents, for the carers, especially for the elderly, and of course for the stakeholders, for the policymakers. In we call it. Sometimes this is a challenge for parents and family members who have this special individual around them, which is in our case, the disabled people, and as well as the elderly, which for us roughly translated around with the age of 65. So the aim of this study is about to create a comprehensive database and to develop an apps to facilitate disability individual and especially their family members in locating the correct support center. Without going to every center that provide the service, they just need to check on the mobile apps to further get the information and choose suitable disability center. This is the core challenge, one of the main challenges, especially for the support, especially for the family members, in order to get the knowledge, the correct center, and as well as the information needed, which will include assistive technologies. All right. Another part of my presentation, we focus on this three core data, which is actually from I got from official data from the Department of Statistics and the Welfare Department of Malaysia in 2018. The state of Selangor currently we have a total population of 6.475 million people, and then out of 6.4 million, roughly 6.5 million, the registered disabled people actually around 79,292, which is the highest in Malaysia. And under the elderly under assistance from the government, actually we have 20,597, which we believe is the numbers is quite bigger than the numbers that I present today, which is actually this is the data that normally need to go through a process of registration and so on, all the red tape and so on. So based on WHO, the numbers will be higher, much higher, because out of 6.5 million, there will be around 10% with special needs and elderly people. All right. To cut short, okay, we based on this method and materials to develop this prototype, the application, which we start from collecting data for, especially on the elderly support center. We have around 56 centers supported by the government, especially under the Department of Social Welfare, around all districts in Selangor. And then we have actually around 8 support center for elderly. This is actually government owned, under the government funds, especially under the state government of Selangor, and as well as the federal government of Malaysia. And then we put in an application development, and then we create a prototype. We develop a prototype, and we test the prototype based on the first round of what we call that a user acceptance test. We have done the improvement, and then we develop what we call prototype application. Okay, let me summarize our discussion of the findings. First of all, these digital mobile apps, namely e-Anis, which actually derived from the word Anak Istimewa, which is actually special needs kids or disabled kids, and actually Anak and elderly, which is Warga Emas, we call it in Malaysia. And then S is stand for Selangor, which is actually the state of Selangor, and developed and designed to be user friendly. That's why we base this app in Bahasa Malaysia. We set up this app in Bahasa Malaysia to cater the needs of especially the rural people. And then not only to facilitate the disability people, we also facilitate the individuals and their family members, not only locating the correct support center, we also in the midst of putting in what you call center for that provide assistive technology, that provide the equipments as well, about the support group as well. Okay, number 2, the startup screen shows the login button together with the register new account and forget password menu, which is actually quite similar with other apps. And then the login button as well, together with register new account. The new user have to register the new account. The purpose for the new users to register, if we want to develop the clear data, the actual data, in order to assist, especially in the future what you call that future assistance that we currently in the midst of developing new assistant, the new information that we based on the ongoing UAT test. Okay, number 4, the logo of this app will be the abbreviation, the e-Anis, which actually the letter E refers to the online, and then Ani refers to the disabled, which I already explained in the first one. Okay, the home screen provide all the announcement, all the related disability issues, especially the role of University of Selangor in upholding this idea of to get all the people support the idea of engagement with the disabled and as well as the elderly in the state. All right, this is actually the completed prototype mobile apps already downloaded we can download in the Google Play Store, which actually completed in June 2020. Okay, that covers most of the issues. The first thing is the restrictions, and then the what we call that the news, the issues regarding to the elderly and what we call that disability issues, especially on the kids. And then all the centers we have, especially the 56 centers for, we call it CBR, community-based rehabilitations, the location, as well as rehabilitation centers and equipment and so on. All right, so the next stage actually after the first prototype, we put it in the what we call that in the Play Store. We have done actually another user acceptance testing, especially to the users and stakeholders, right before the end of 2020. All right, this UAT is really based on the very simple questions, the 6 questions, and we have received this result, which actually 91.7% managed to find it in the Play Store. Number two, most of 100% agreed that the installation process is not time-consuming. 66.7% had no problem during registration of new account, and 83.3% of the users found it the apps is actually easy to access, and 83.3% did not face any problem to access each menu. However, based on the what we call the feedbacks, they need all the respondents. Most of the respondents need to add, believe that this app need to add more info centers, and another one is actually 82% find it useful for them, especially the stakeholders, especially the parents and the family member. Okay, we already managed to get the what we call it copyright and trademark on 9 July 2020. Another one is copyright in 29 June in 2020, because this is actually a catalyst. We believe this will become, the word Anis actually will be the catalyst towards enhancing disability and elderly support in the state, especially in the state of Selangor. Okay, let me conclude. Briefly conclude that our finding demonstrate that the opportunity and needs of emerging holistic accessibility for people with disability and the age. This is the clear needs, which we believe, based on our conclusion, we have actually four main conclusion issues. One is about the research. We try to identify priority needs of the people of disabilities and elderly for app development. Number two, the development itself actually aimed to design, deploying, and validating new solutions to respond to the most pressing needs of the people with disability and the elderly, especially their family members. And of course, number three is a knowledge translation, actually an effort to assist the consumer, and especially in order to find rehab equipment, and then in order to help providers for these rehab equipments, in identifying accessibility and effective apps that address information disparity. There's actually a gap between these two groups. Okay, and lastly, this study also suggests that future research should focus on development of database and apps by expanding the data and world service that covers Malaysia as a whole. There's a pressing need on that with regards to the issues of now during the pandemic as well, and the need of support group, the needs of clear information, the need of what you call support centers that will cater the need of these two pressing group, which is actually the elderly and the disabled kids. So lastly, actually, we managed to create what we call a policy called Anis in the state of Selangor to assist the state of government, which is actually a clear government policy on disabled and special needs, which actually begins in under Universal Disability Awareness Program. And now we already in the midst of starting up what we call the assistant based on Anis, what we call the aptly named Anis Anak Istimewa, which actually special need kids in state of Selangor. And we believe that this app will be a great help. We will create a new catalyst in order to in order to expand assistance towards the elderly and the disabled. That's all from us, from this team. And again, I thank the committee members. I thank all the people behind this conference, and may this conference will be the most engaging and the most successful. Thank you from us. Okay, thank you from us again. Nandri Wanagam. Thank you.